Today I'm with Mark Wright. Mark Wright, an, I suppose, iconic name from the late 80s, 90s football. And of course, Mark, what we are talking now is World Cup 1990.
Yeah.
What was, Mark, I suppose, your most memorable moment in that World Cup?
I think it was the whole World Cup, Charles, if I'm being totally honest. To have missed the 86 World Cup in Mexico with a broken leg, I didn't want to be missing again. I wanted to experience what it was all about. So I think participating and being picked for that tournament was key to me, just to be part of it. There's no standout real moment. People say to me, scoring against Egypt must be a standout. It's a great moment, don't get me wrong.
I can see you now turning around with your hand in the air.
Yeah.
1-0.
From Gaza, but but it was the whole thing.
Just seeing these shirts behind us. If we start, I suppose, the group games, you just tell me the play. Well, not so much the players, but
well, the most significant for me was the Irish one because it was my mate Andy Townsend.
That's right.
Obviously, to swap with him and be there in the same World Cup with a great mate, it was fantastic. But it was the Dutch game. I think was the standout game from that group stage because in '88 they'd beaten us in the Euros and
Van Basten hat-trick, I think.
Van Basten, unbelievable, unplayable, and we owed them one. So we changed the formation, and on the day, once again, the better side by a country mile. We should have won the game, 2-0 at least.
And it was 0-0,
and
wasn't
it was 0-0. So to actually go there and put our mark in it, that's when we realised we were a team.
So from the Republic to the Dutch, and of course your game, the game where you scored against Egypt.
Yeah.
I mean, can you remember the moments you swapped these shirts, Mark? Was it?
I remember with Andy, but no. Remember the German one, obviously losing the semi-final, and someone comes over and you switch. And if I was being totally honest, I didn't particularly want to swap that one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, semi-final. It'd been great, if we'd have won it. So it was just one of those moments. Everyone was pretty sad, and it was you switch them. But I think to get them, and like you said before, Charles, this is the first collection from that '90 World Cup as a unit. That's ever been out there.
It might be the only collection ever marked to come on the markets, and this is to me an iconic Italia 1990 World Cup complete collection. And obviously we've got other things to show you as well. But Mark, these were all shirts that you swapped during the actual game at the very end.
At the end, yeah.
Fine. And then of course we then went to the iconic game we've discussed, Germany, the semi-final, when of course we had the tears and the ups, and of course we had this shirt here, which rounds up the complete collection.
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously the West German game, that was a game, and the biggest accolade that we got was Lothar Matthäus said after the game that, football goes that way, but he acknowledged that we were the better side, and I don't know if that makes it easier or better when you actually get beat. But the game against the Italians was should they be played? I'm thinking not. To a joint third place because who wants to play in it anyway? It's an international game, but you've been knocked out of the semi-finals, and really, do we want to be playing a game? Does anyone want to? I don't think they do. No. So, but it's a lovely shirt, all the same.
Yeah.
But the whole of the World Cup, what an experience!
Yeah. We are also offering in this important collection a shirt worn by Mark Wright in one of the matches. Showing for you here, Mark, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, it's one of those shirts. They're a prized possession. And we always got given 2 shirts, or there was always, 3 shirts or whatever, if one got ripped as well. But you'd swap them at half-time because they were absolutely drenched at half-time when you're playing. So you swap them. Some people did, some people didn't.
Yeah. How do you feel now, just around all this? How do you feel personally, the emotion of this?
With this?
Yeah.
I'm very proud.
Yeah.
Very, very proud. When I look at the shirts and everything, I think, how lucky was I to have played in a World Cup, play against these teams. We got the whole world watching. I mean, what more do you want?
And also, Mark, just to round off the Mark Wright archive of Italia World Cup 1990. Mark, tell me about this.
Well, that's a Peter Shilton, one of Peter Shilton's shirts. I mean, I actually got that after the semi-final, but if it was a match-worn one, it's a match-worn one. He gave it to me. All I can say to you that he gave me that shirt after the semi-final and said to me, and then I got it signed in there by the whole of the squad, and obviously Don Howe and Bobby Robson are no longer with us, so it's a shirt that can't be replicated anymore.
It's not just the collection of the Italia 90 World Cup offering as a single lot, we're also offering this as a complete collection. the iconic 92 FA Cup final shirt worn by the captain, Mr. Mark Wright, and also the medal, the winner's medal. Mark, tell me about the game.
It was one of those that obviously you go in as favourites because obviously you're playing against Sunderland. Not to take anything away from Sunderland, but when Liverpool get to a final, they're one of the favourites or the favourite. This was for me. It was the first time that I'd reached the final, so it was really, really spectacular for me, Dean Saunders and Mickey Thomas, because we'd never been in a final, and obviously we went on to win it. But first half it was a bit tit for tat, and then second half we just kept the ball. People were saying just keep the ball, keep passing it around, and they'd put so much effort in the first half that they were so tired taking off. It came almost for us, and it's not me being disrespectful to them. It was like a keep ball session, because when we scored one, we scored two, could have scored more, and we just really, really enjoyed it. And then at the end, obviously, to go up them steps and to receive the FA Cup from the Duchess of Kent and then receive your medal.
How did it feel, Mark? Because obviously you have that moment where you take your medal, thank you, you hold that, and then you see it. You see the cup, don't you?
Well, they gave us the cup first.
Oh, really?
And then give you the medal. You get the cup. You just want all you see. You don't see that.
No.
You see the FA Cup, which as a kid, that's all you wanted to win. Was the FA Cup. It wasn't the league, and it wasn't the European Cup. It was the FA Cup for some reason. It had that stigma in it. It had that thing where everyone got excited. So to see the cup, and I'm captain. I'm lucky enough to be up the first up the steps, and they're giving it to me. You can't describe.
So we have in the sale the shirt and the medal. This is the 1990. Of course, Mark, this is your shirt you wore in the final. And again, if our client who does wish to buy this collection, wish to meet Mark, we can arrange for that as we hand over the collection. And of course, Mark, being a fan of the bottom right, we followed your career in club football just because this collection is to be included in the collection. Our buyers do bid. Just tell me what each of these shirts
Well, they're match
represent.
worn shorts again. This is from Oxford United,
What's your career?
where I started my career as a youngster, and within I think it was only a dozen games, I was then sold to Southampton. They said it was a make weight, but Lauren McMenemy, as soon as he got there, said no, we was really after you rather than the centre forward we bought.
From Southampton.
I go to Derby County.
Under, of course, the name we obviously...
Arthur Cox,
Yeah, Arthur Cox, of course.
Fantastic.
That shirt. From what, 87, 88 you moved to Derby County?
I moved, I went there from 87 to 91.
That's right. And of course,
And then obviously onto this one with Liverpool. That was a record signing worldwide for a defender. That was 2.2 million.
And it was a double duo, wasn't it? It was you and Saunders.
Dino came after me. I went first, and then Dean came after. And so, and so I was lucky. I was happy, very, very happy at all them clubs.
Yeah. One of the, I suppose, oldest aspects, Mark, of being a footballer, and it goes back a very, very long time, is the award of a football cap. And in your collection, we're also honoured to be selling these football caps from really your era of playing for England.
Yeah, I mean, listen, these are obviously some of them I gave away to my children, but this is obviously the ones that are here, and each and every one of them are a prized possession because it's about when you represent your country. And every time you play, if you play a single game, you get a single cap. But then if you play, say, in a tournament and you've got 3 or 4 names on there, that means because you played in a tournament or them during a qualifying section. So, I mean, or you go touring somewhere. But listen, they're all authentic. They're all the real deal. And
I think in many respects, Mark, we look at the longevity of your career. I'm just noticing down here, 85. There's a typo here because that says 95, 96.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You weren't playing then, were you?
I was, yeah.
There we go. So, plus 10 years for England. Yeah.
They're all prized possessions, but obviously it's time to do something about it.
That's right. And I think it's a real opportunity for a collector with a great passion for football to acquire what is the most comprehensive, the most unique collection of an England footballer of great distinction. Thank you, Mark Wright, for your time today.
Pleasure.